Thank you so much for taking time to learn about the stock market game offered by the Arizona Council on Economic Education. This is a short video intended to walk you through the steps of registering for the 2023-2024 school year. So as you can see on my screen, I am at the Arizona Council on Economic Education, or ACEE's webpage. And I wanted to start here so that I could show you from this main page. You go to student programs and drop down to the stock market game. This is the information for our specific Arizona game. So you're on this page, you will find the link to the registration. You will also find information about requesting funds. If your school is Title I, which we define by 40% or more of the students are receiving free and reduced lunch, you can request funds from Arizona Council to help offset your $15 per team fee for the semester games, or the $30 fee for year-long games. If you're not sure if your school qualifies, you can use the link to this document on our main page. I also encourage you to explore more on this page. There's some resources here and information about awards for teams that place first or second in their division. So to register, what you want to have what you already want to have information on is how many students are you intending on having play the stock market game, participate in the stock market game. We recommend teams of 3 to 5 students. So you want to think about how many students are in your class. And if you have a class of 30, let's use that as an example, maybe you want to register 10 teams. If you are registering more than one class, perhaps you have a semester class of economics and you want to register 3 class periods, then you're going to create 3 classes of however many teams you need for each class. And any information you need beyond this, you can email me. My name is Kathy Pondy. I'm the Director of Student Programs, and you can email me at kathy.pondy@azeecon.org. So to register, you just simply will select the register now, and it's going to walk you through the registration information that's required. I'm going to use this example here of a teacher at Boulder Creek High School that is registering teams. So you're going to put in your name. We do not collect student information. You will want to keep the information of who is on what team. We only take information for the teacher. So we can see that it's going to ask you for your email. The reason for your email is that is where we will send you your invoice for the fee. And also we'll send you weekly information to help support you and your students while you're playing. So the teacher's name is what goes here. Now, the 2 options here, teach students and others, or participate by yourself. This is for teach students and others is typically what most of our teachers will select. This will allow you as a teacher advisor, we call them, to have multiple classes and multiple teams. We do have an adult division. If a teacher wanted to just participate on their own and compare what the kids are doing, you can do that. But teach students and others is what we would do here. And this is simply answer this question as it applies to you. This particular teacher has not played the stock market game before. And then you click continue. On the next screen, it'll take you to the screen that's asking you to tell your zip code. The reason for this is so that then it'll populate the Arizona game. So there's one stock market game in all of Arizona. So all the teams registered are competing against each other, and I'm the coordinator for that. So any questions or concerns can come to me. So you select the Arizona game, then you want to pick your program period. So we have 3 different trading periods during the school year 23-24. There is a semester game in the fall that's 12 weeks, and a semester game in the spring that's 12 weeks, and then a year-long game. You typically, we have more teams playing in the semester games because it fits their semester course, where there's a social studies course, a personal finance course, an economics course. And this is open to students in grades 4 through 12. So we do have quite a few elementary and middle schools that the teachers choose a year-long game because they do have the same students all year long. So it's really up to you. I'm going to select the fall game for this particular teacher, and then find your school. So your school, because you put in your zip code, your school may populate if that school has registered before. Before they get the list of schools, you need to indicate here what type of school. So we're going to do a 12th to 4th grade team. It may be that we have an after-school program or homeschool. If you're not affiliated with a particular school because you're homeschool, you can choose that. But keep in mind, this is not individual student teams. This is for a teacher to register teams of 3 to 5 students each to participate in the stock market game. So for this zip code, these are the schools that populated, and they happen to be at Boulder Creek High School. If your school did not populate, you simply will select, I don't see my school, and then you'll enter the information. So I'm going to choose Boulder Creek, and I'm going to double check all the information. So school type is public. I'm sorry, it's high school. Will ask us another spot if it's public or private. And then this information, as long as it's correct, I'm going to move on. It does ask you for a phone number. The phone number should be the teacher's. Again, it can be a school phone number. This is just in the case that if we had a question regarding, if you were to email me and had questions and I couldn't contact you via email, I might contact you via phone. But typically the phone number we do not use the phone number to contact. SIFMA does not solicit. They're not going to call with any additional sales. So really it is just for contact information. It does ask for your principal's name. And then here, if your school is Title I, you would indicate that. These are optional questions here. We do like that if you indicate if somebody else has referred you, if you can indicate that, then that person can receive a possible financial incentive. And that's a really helpful thing for us. So as long as you have all this information correct, you can say set up my classes. Now, this is where if you have only one class playing, then you're only going to create one class. If you have a period 1, period 2, period 3, this is where I recommend you name the class periods something that is identifiable, because if you are registering, let's say you have 3 classes and you have over 90 students, we want to register the teams associated with the period that they're in, so it's easier for you to manage the students' performance or be able to look it up. So I'm going to put economics period 1 for this teacher, and she's only registering 1 class. Subject area is really more informational. We do add that the SIFMA Foundation and ACEE like to gather this information to get an idea of what types of classes and subjects are more often playing the stock market game. So this is really just informational. It's not anything that's going to change your students' division or their eligibility. So the number of students here, she has 35 students, and she's going to register 12 teams. Now, if you're not quite sure how many teams, go ahead and register more than you think you might need. And what about the 4th week of the game, I will delete any teams that are unplayed, and you won't be charged for those. So remember, it's $15 a team, unless you've requested funds, but this is where you want to register, you want to indicate how many teams you need, because we can delete them. I also can add teams at some point during the semester, but my recommendation is to register more than you need, assign the students to their team, and then let me know if we should delete some. If you are affiliated with any kind of national organization, this is a place to indicate that. Typically, there's none. So then I want to add this class, and you'll see right here. Now, if you had a 2nd period or 3rd period, you can simply choose add another class, and you'll put in the same information, but the number of teams you need for that class. So I'm going to choose delete here. There's only 1 class. Below where the class information is showing, here's some information specifically to the Arizona game that I encourage you to take a look at. The participation requirements, those are also in the Teacher Resource Center, but here of the stock market game. But you take time to look through this information. So I'm going to continue. And now this is the part where I want to make sure that teachers understand. If you have been approved for a fee waiver, you would simply select pay later. If you are going to pay with this via electronic Visa, electronic method, choose pay later. You will be invoiced during the 4th week of the game. So you do not need to pay now. And I actually recommend you don't, because we want to make sure that you're only being charged for the number of teams you need. If you already have a purchase order that has been opened, you can choose purchase order and put in your purchase order number and the information related to your purchase order. Either one of these is fine. It completes the registration process for you, and neither one of them means you're paying now. So I would recommend choosing pay later and continue. And then here is where you would check all this information that is correct and indicate for these at the very bottom below the information, you do need to select I read and agreed to the rules and code of participation. So if you click on that link, it'll take you to the rules and the participation. It's absolutely advisable if this is your first time, especially, to read that. The others are information that is optional to you. I highly recommend attending a workshop, even if you're experienced, and we are doing one August 17th. So that'll help advisors to know what's new for the year, or help new teachers know some tips for being able to implement this in the classroom. If this all looks correct, then you're just simply going to hit submit. And then you'll have this welcome message. That means that you have registered, and what you will then get it comes pretty immediately is an email that says, thank you for registering, and it'll tell you how many teams you registered. It will not have the team IDs quite yet, but it will tell you how many teams you registered, and it will have your teacher login. So the teacher login is helpful for you to be able to go take a look at your team's portfolios. Now you can see here that this is the teacher that was just registered. The teacher ID and password is what is used by the teacher every time you are going to log into the stock market game system. And each of your students' teams will show on your dashboard page. Right now, there are no team IDs generated and no passwords generated for each of the teams, but those will be generated about 3 weeks before this trading period begins. Thank you so much for watching the video on how to register for the stock market game. There are additional videos to help with the next steps, how to make a trade, how to manage the student teams, tips for teaching the stock market. So please take a look at our Arizona Council on Economic Education page for more information, or email me, kathy.pondy@azeecon.org for more assistance. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful school year.